Welcome to the Behavior Code. I'm your host, Yogi Chris, PhD. This is a podcast streaming, whatever it is, video recording. By the way, if you're watching the recording, you should absolutely follow. There's like no excuse not to. If this is your first episode, you're in for a ride because these are great episodes, better than any podcast you're likely to find on the Apple, on the Spotify, on the wherever. And so I'm a Stoic monk here at Base One Stoic Temple in San Jose, California. It's the first Stoic temple in the world of its kind after they burned them all 2,000 years ago. And what's of this kind is because there's a new school of information on the block. It's called evolutionary psychology, and it's relatively new. It's about 30, 40 years old, and great innovations and studies of human psychology and mating and female psychology and blah, 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 blah. So apply Stoicism to that and some creativity and a bunch of other stuff. Basically, the AZD IMC process, we're all here. The guys that I bring on the show are students of AZD. Arash Pardibazar, my teacher, I live with him. He's here at the Stoic Temple, and he's at the head of the movement. He's spearheading the movement, you know? Like how Donald Trump was spearheading the QAnon movement and the fight for world liberation from, the oligarchy overlords. AZD is spearheading the revolution against feminism, basically, which is the communist agenda at the family level, is feminism. And what I have with us today, are some of the VIP attendees, as well as some other camp attendees. I mean, guys that are coming to this camp, like Scott Gravel, he's coming to the campus. But what we have is Jose Oracle Cervantes is doing VIP at the Spearmint Rhino, which is one of the most famous strip club chains in America, maybe in the world, I don't know, but high-end facility for that sort of stuff. And there's one of them here in San Jose, and he's knows the owner for a long time. As long as I've known AZD, he's known the owner, and it's a she, and it's kind of an amazing story, their interactions and how they know each other. But we're going to talk about this because words are going to fall short of it. I'm going to try to describe, and then I'm going to bring on the guests. We have Oracle Cervantes. He's here. He'll be doing the VIP night, which is arrive here. The teachings begin at 6 p.m. here at the base. That evening, we go out to Spearmint Rhino via limousine back. I don't know what stops along the way. And then there's teachings the following day. We'll explain why that's like necessary. You don't understand. I'm telling you, and I'm going to do my best to convey the experience. Then we also have Pyro on Instagram. His name is Master Pyro, who is has an outstanding Instagram. I mean, if you go and check out the content he makes, he's a videographer. He works with dancers, I don't even know what you would call their professions, but a lot of really pretty girls that like to show their bodies, and he's around that all the time, telling them what to do and how to pose and making a video highlight of them that gets them business. And so he's coming here. He's going to be shooting a video of this private VIP event. It's very exclusive. There's also a few other guys coming. Alejandro, who's Oracle's brother. Shamir Khan will be there. I hear Ibarra Rose will be there. And then myself, I think Fernando is coming. So we'll see. So what I was hoping for, or my intention was to really just get you all's mindset coming into this, Pyro and Oracle, two different perspectives. Oracle showing up, a man with a family, who's been loyal for going on decades now, who's come into this information and pursued it fervently for many, many, many months, and has made a lot of changes in his life. And so we've had him on the show before, and he's here officially. And his perspective going into this thing, knowing that he hasn't done anything like it before. I have, and I'm so excited because I'll tell you why, but we'll get into that. I don't want to talk too much at the front. And then Pyro, who is around this type of female a lot, this kind of woman a lot in his day-to-day life, his business, and he's going to come here and be highlighting the night for us in his professional. He's had communication with Arash of what's expected and what the delivery will be. And so I wanted to talk it out and make it obvious to everybody, and then just kind of sharing the excitement and enthusiasm about this. So Oracle, let me hand it over to you first, brother. How's it going? I see you're on the road, and what are you looking forward to most about the VIP event?
Thank you so much for the invite, Yogi Chris, Master Yogi. What am I looking forward to? Well, just really watching the legend AZD in action. I got a little glimpse of him last time I was at Beast Camp, and it was just amazing to see what's happening at a genetic level and how he triggers so many things and so many people. And I'm really blessed and gifted in the ability to see that. And that's what I'm looking forward to. The scene itself is not something that I'm into, but I'm not opposed to it. Done plenty of strip clubs myself, but I know it's a whole different level with AZD.
Yeah, it's going to be on another level. It's not going to be familiar to you. The things that happen are going to make your eyes cross and going to make it difficult to sleep at night. And it's going to haunt you for years. For years. You'll reflect on what you see because it will defy any expectation. Write a fantasy novel and you still won't come close to what you'll see. Write it again. You won't come close. Because at some point your fantasy will become so unrealistic that you wouldn't see that. But what is possible is still also unseen. Master Pyro, what's up, brother? I know you're rolling something up. If you can talk to us, man. What did AZD tell you about the videography? If you could share it with us, and what are you looking forward to about this project?
Yes, sir. So AZD talked to me about, really just documenting, of course, his vibe, how he interacts with everybody in his scene, and kind of wants me to just take it from there. He wants me to do my own magic from there. So I'm really excited to see how I'm going to put this together, because I know I always like to put a nice little twist to it. What I'm extremely excited to see is just witnessing, of course, his body language in an environment like that, because I've recorded plenty of nights like this where people go to the club to celebrate and things of that nature. So it's going to be very interesting to see somebody at a level that he's at to run in an environment like that, and being able to witness it as close as I'm going to be able to witness it. So I'm definitely excited to see that part of the night.
Yeah, it's going to defy logic, man. It's going to be statements and body language, and especially in such a loud environment, you won't be able to hear a lot of things that are said. If you heard everything that was said and understood the gestures that were made, and maybe even in some cases understood a little bit of the history that he might know, he maybe knows some people there, it will all make sense. But not knowing the fantasy dynamics and relationships he has with people, when you see people burst out in laughter, or some of the girls get really turned on and start becoming affectionate in a way that's way beyond what a dancer would do out there that's hustling for money. It's different. She'll start ignoring the people that have money. He's not paying them nothing. And 2 or 3 of them will be gathered around, jealousy and energy, and somebody might get pissed, but he knows the owner. It doesn't even matter. He used to be a part owner of the club when it was called Gold Club, and then it was bought out by Spearmint Rhino and he got out. But that was after years of establishing himself there as the club that he would go game to practice strip club game and other places, because it's a unique game to that girl. It's different. It's different. I don't even know, but I've seen so much. Oh my God. As far as what I've seen as an external observer, the next level, I almost have to be able to do it. That's the only way I can. How much am I going to see? At some point I need to start doing, but I haven't been to the strip club in a long time. But man, I've seen amazing things. I've told some of the stories. I'm sure I'll tell more. But I am telling the story by emphasizing and conveying that it's going to defy logic. It would make sense if you knew what was said, but when you see it, it won't make sense. And then further than that, it's more than just the once or twice surprise of the person having some surprise reaction to them that you didn't suspect, but it will be the wisdom and the game knowledge of how to use that to build the next interaction and the next, and to accumulate so that what is called merging sets through time so that you accumulate the best effect. And that's how you end up gaming the top girl in a venue who isn't going to give you that reaction initially. The girls that give those reactions are going to be mid-level or whatever. They're competing for attention. But that's how you get the girl that's not giving any attention because she's the prize in the venue, but she's just in the venue. We arrive and each one of us are the prize in the longest term sense, because any individual female, except maybe some of these mixed martial arts fucking champions, but even then, because at some point she's going to bleed and at some point she's going to get pregnant. Otherwise, we're not talking about a woman. What's the point? And maybe in life she's not going to get pregnant, but that we're talking about her as if she would, because what's the point if we're talking about her as if she's never gonna? If she's never gonna, then what we're talking about just a dude or a person, and that's where you get a lot of misery, because then you can't treat them as they are, and then you lose that fulfillment. So outside of some of these MMA fighters, chicks, any single woman, from Nicki Minaj to any woman, a grandma somewhere, alone in the jungle would be safer with me. I am higher value than her in life because I will survive. Now, put us in a group of people and you'll see a lot of people go to help her. But then now we enter into present time where it's like, is that really safer for her? Maybe 99% of the time, but it's that 1% of the time that somebody that's close by that would take advantage of that could take advantage of that, because even a weak man is in many cases higher survival value than any individual female. And that's just the reality of it. And that's the code of nature we talk to. And when we fuck up is when we forget that and we start acting like she's more our equal, you know? So this would be very, very, very interesting. The strip club, Master Pyro, what can you tell us about alpha and beta, and when roles may be reversed, when girls are so desirable or so, there's so many guys that make themselves available that the difficulty in grabbing her attention and making her recognize your alpha instead of treating you like one of those other beta boys. Like, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, in that environment, that's what I'm extremely, want to pay attention to, because honestly, I'm not a big fan of that scene, but I've seen the dynamic of that strip club scene, right? You always have the main person in this section, and you always have, the girls always trying to fish out who's that main guy in the section, right? And then once again, it's such a fast thing that, every calibration counts, you know what I'm saying? And I can see how somebody that's not, in tune with that game as far as how Arash is, like how you could fumble that, and knowing how to handle your environment the way how he's able to handle it. That's something I want to see. But I honestly, I'm not too sure, because honestly, when I play that part, I'm just there hanging out, I'm chilling, I'm recording, so I have my own value when I'm there. I'm not one of those people trying to like get attention in that sense. But there is a certain presence that needs to be there, which I'm excited to see how to unfold that, because honestly, that's the part I need to help in as well, as far as in that scene in particular, because people throwing money, I'm not a big fan of like, doing this whole thing, or a lot of people are, right?
And I've seen the guys that are rappers, that are gang affiliated, that are mob affiliated, whatever the fuck, that are pimps, and they come in and they throw dough, and they maybe have some smooth talk, but they throw a lot of dough, and you'll see them looking after an hour and a half after the value has been established, a couple interactions with girls, that the girl B sees girl A smiling and laughing, and then she wants to come talk, and then girl A sees girl B smiling and laughing, and now there's jealousy, and then girl C comes out of nowhere, and now you're creating a fucking cyclone, a hurricane in the venue, and knowing what to do and when to do it, right?
I've also seen a lot of men, overdo it, right? They just fucking overdo it. So that's what I'm very interested to see, because I know Arash knows how to not throw all that shit and still be able to get, even if he does, he will know how to calibrate in a way that I'm more than sure that it doesn't go off as one of those men that's just you know, just like to just throw that kind of shit and then have that fucked up, you know, way of communicating. Because I've seen it where the moment a girl goes over there, you can see the turn off in their faces. Like you could, that's what I'm saying. In the nightclub in that scene, remember, you're very more observant of body language. You know what I'm saying? That's something you see the most. That's why I said, like, that's the first thing I'm gonna be very observant about, because body language is the most important thing in that kind of a night, night setting. So you'll see it in girls' faces when they're dissatisfied, just communicate, asking whatever couple questions and shit, you know?
Yeah, man. And going out,
and the money doesn't matter.
And going out with him, you'll see the body language start when we head to the cars. The gaming starts right before we start heading to the cars, and then it continues. And it's like you said, the girl is always looking for the alpha, or you know, the pocket even of the guy. She's hunting and she's practiced at it. And a guy's coming in not used to being hunted. Imagine a girl comes up to you and hits on you in the middle of your day. You're out doing something and catches you off guard because you're not used to it. You're not more used to it just because you go to the strip club. You might expect it a little bit more, but now they're hella practiced at it. You're hella not practiced at it. It would be like us going out and gaming some farm girl that hasn't had too many interactions with guys, and she's like 19, 20, and it's not even fair. It's not even fair. And you know, and I've been to the strip club with him probably 24, 3 times. I don't know. And I've never seen him use more than $10 or $20 at a time. And it's usually less than that. It's just man. And it's in ones, right? And that's what I'm saying. Those guys, those G's that are using $1,000 of ones real quick are turning and looking because they're like, what the fuck, man? They want those girls giving them that laughter and goodness, but the girls are coming over and bouncing on them and not giving them any personality, no attention, just being a hoe. And you could buy more, honestly, with that money. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, really, man. And then being able
I think.
Go ahead.
I think that's I think with that. From just what I've been hearing him talk about the Beast Camp, I think that is the essence of that power, what we're learning this weekend, right? Because a lot of it comes from that Dracula kind of sense of the demeanor of it, the posture of it, the tone of it, and timing of it. And I know that in that realm, that all that is very important, you know what I'm saying? So to be able to get that effect through applying those things is just obviously the mastermind that he is to be able to do it. So, man, I'm super excited to pick up that skill for sure. Because
sorry, the Wi-Fi. I didn't know you were.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, piggyback on that you know, in the Dracula Code, if you lived for 2,000 or 3,000 years, how many brothels you've been to, how many strip clubs you've probably been to, you've seen it all. Now, how would you act? How would you treat the bouncer? How would you treat the cocktail waitress? How would you treat all the dancers and the owner? If you'd seen it all, you desensitized to things. And, you know, and then what's so interesting, you'll be there documenting. You won't be able to document inside the club, I don't think. But all the way up to the club, whatever we end up doing to travel, whatever we end up doing afterwards, the teachings before and afterwards, how we look, what are we talking about, what's our energy, you know, to be able to recap the evening right afterwards, and we'll say what we saw, and then the following day, Friday morning, he'll do private teachings with the VIP on, I mean, see, I don't know what he'll teach. I never know what he'll teach for the Beast Camp. The Beast Camp this month is called Code Dracula, Immortal Seduction. Dracula being immortal. You've seen it all. What things would you qualify in a girl? What would you appreciate and really admire? When you had so much experience with women because you lived forever, there's uniqueness you're looking for. You're not looking for the basic that's in everybody that makes you so similar. You're looking for that uniqueness, and not all unique qualities are made equal. Some are higher value. So you begin to refine your taste with experience. If you were immortal and lived forever, you'd probably have a lot of experience, and you'd have a high refined taste. Immortal Seduction, Code Dracula. We'll see at the strip club. These are the girls. These girls are fine. This is a fine strip club. These are the girls that are practiced, that are experienced, that have the guys that would offer to pay $10K a month, put them through school and make them sugar mamas or whatever they would end up doing. They'll be able to retire on that, but it's still not satisfying. What are the behaviors of a man that you or I could be? Because all of us are more handsome than Arash. We're younger than Arash. We, in many ways, have more potential than Arash. But do we act and move and speak and sound like Arash? Do we say those things? Do we have the frames, the perspectives that we're coming from? Like, I'm the prize. I'm the prize. No matter how fine you are, I'm the prize. Because your only value is your vagina to me. Now, if you are more networked, if you have leverage with people and you're more dangerous than me, well, then be gone to you, because I'm not interacting with you like you're ever not, like you're ever not the prize, like you're ever the prize. You're not the prize. I may interact with you professionally because of some intelligence and I can leverage that, but there'll always need to be a color of I'm the prize in the interaction, or I'll become beta bitch to whatever that female is. And these girls will turn almost any guy beta, where the guy chases, where the guy's panting, drooling metaphorically, his energy. Like you said, she can see it in them because she's seen it all. So she, like how we learn to read IOIs, indications of interest, she starts scratching her neck, scratching her arm, playing with her hair, licking her lips, fluttering her eyes, like whatever, crossing her legs towards you. She's seeing so much of what you do that's giving interest, where I'm being nice because I want something from you. I'm behaving, like you said, trying hard. I'm doing this to get something from you, that which communicates you're the prize. Because why would I need to do that? I'm here to do, why would I do that? Even if I was doing that, but I was still the prize, there would be an element of underneath me behaving in a way that makes you think I'm chasing you, that underneath that I would still have, I'm the prize. And it's done differently versus the man that chases thinking that he's chasing the prize. Right? She's the trophy, but not just her as an individual, she generically, because the lion and the gazelle, no individual gazelle is the prize, but the gazelle is the prize. But if you miss that one, the next one will do. And now let's do a game that, you know, doesn't threaten my future hunting, you know, where the gazelles trample me or fucking kick me or whatever. Who knows? It's kind of an analogy, so it breaks down a little bit. Raul, Oracle, what are you thinking now as I've described the VIP event? You're that guy that's hella dedicated, that's saving not just your relationship, but you're saving your wife because she had a weaker, less aware man before you started all of this. And that's what you said in the last podcast of the video is, you know, I'm learning this stuff to become a real man, to express my ethics, that I am this kind of guy. I just didn't know how to communicate it. And that's what I'm doing here. And, you know, so now what do you think about the event? What comes to mind for you?
Well, as you're talking, the only thing I can think of, or the only reference I have, is when I've been to those type of places. And the last time I've been to one is my brother's birthday, which just passed June 10th.
Yeah.
So we were there, and I can totally see the difference in the environment. Some of the females there do come up and they do try to hunt you down. But some of them do try to play that game of come chase me, right? And so I see all the dynamics. For the most part, since I don't interact in those type of environments, I did not know how to handle myself other than just be myself, which is I usually just keep to myself and, you know, do what I got to do, have a little bit of fun, but I'm not crazy out there, outgoing or anything like that. That attracts some, but not many. So I'm very interested in seeing how Rosh does it, for sure.
Yeah, to leverage the energy of money and the energy of communication to make a bigger impact more efficiently, to get recognized doubly or triply for the same thing when you have attention on you. That's what I'm saying, knowing what to do and how to do it. I'm not good at game, but I'm good enough to see just amazingness. And I've seen other pickup artists. I've seen Vince Kelvin. I've seen a little bit of Hypnotica. I've seen a little bit of Discovery. And I've seen whatever infield that I've seen of people. And I've heard guys talk and I see the longevity in their relationships. What's so amazing is that this guy is able to create the short-term effects that he does while holding down the long-term relationships, guiding those from different time horizons, you know, whatever it is, like 3 years up to 15 years, these relationships, or whatever they are, 7 months, one of them is, or something. And linking the information from both ends of the spectrum, how the game in the early game aligns with the game in the later game and how it shifts and what needs to be emphasized and changed. So much of the spectrum of human nature, and he's at the forefront of human behavior that's ahead of evolutionary psychology, because you wouldn't be able to set up tests fast enough to test for these things and control for variables and things. But you can describe the principles of the universe before you have time to measure them. That's what Hermetics are. That's what the Kabbalion was. There's so much ancient wisdom. The Vedas, they're psychological truths that were yet to be able to be measured, but they were nonetheless true, right? So I know we got other guys on, Ibarra Rose and Shamir. I don't know if you guys can speak, if you want to chime in. You're VIP, man, and you're coming to the Beast Camp. I think Scott Gravel, you're also coming to the Beast Camp. Let me see, I got my list up here. Yeah, Scott is coming live to the Beast Camp. And so anybody that's coming to the Beast Camp, we could even move on if Oracle or Pyro, if you got something, you know, attendee about Code Dracula, like, do you think about, like, what are you going to get from this? How are you going to apply it? Or do you just see it as like another, you've done so many trainings, you just see it as like another weekend? Well, let me go with you first, Pyro.
Yeah, the way how I'm seeing it as a new technology in my seduction. You know, just figuring out what I'm going to pinpoint in my own, you know, techniques, demeanor, things of that nature, and what I need to, you know, withdraw from and what I need to amplify more on. That's kind of where my mind is at with all of it. That's what I get when I hear that. Because I know it's a demeanor, it's a state of mind, it's a vibe. And I'm trying to download that vibe as much as possible. I know as soon as I get there, I know the vibe is already on. So that's where I'm at with all this. Downloading a new technology for my
Yeah, man. Technology of character development. It's going to be the next level. It's definitely going to be very intense. A lot of transformation. The change, you won't even really know how the change is going to be. I know for myself, there's a calmness and a coolness and collectedness that seems to leave when I'm in new social situations, or there's a lot going on. There's a lot of value around me. Being able to tap into that deeply seductive and timelessly seductive qualities, and you know, calibrating all my communication lines, I see that there's a lot of potential around me. That part of success has definitely been the calibration, but another part of it has also just been my enthusiasm about my own change and growth, and their witnessing of my change and growth. So just simply coming back to a communication line with a new mindset and sounding different, writing different, talking different, being different, touching different. I mean, after the strip club, your voice and sense of touch is different. You're more relaxed. You're more calibrated. You're more comfortable with touch. You would think it would be make you like high strung as a guy if you don't get laid somehow. But no, it actually, it softens you, even if nothing happens. Even if you don't get a lap dance, you cannot go in for 15 minutes and stay and then come out, and the next day you'll be different. Now, if you stay for an hour and a half, you'll be different. Now, if you have someone that's really good at the environment, you'll be different. Now, if he's really good and he's able to explain it to you so that you understand, now you're going to be way different. And then if you have some preparation before and some aftermath after that really takes it home for you, that's as deep of change as you're going to get. And now you can actually, let's make it a little deeper, put a beast camp right after it for 3 days. Now you're going to see the difference between you and your brothers who didn't do the VIP. You're going to see you got ahead. You moved ahead. You moved ahead. You can't stop it. I'm telling you.
Exactly. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to, because I've noticed this is super important in attending these events, is just tapping into his vibe, because that alone is transformational. And you always come out of there with some unknown knowledge that you tap into. So I know that being at that event is going to just change who I am, period. And that's like an extra to the already happening event of a regular Beast Camp.
It's going to be quite an icing on the cake. Shamir or Ibarra, if one of you wanted to chime in, I don't know if you can turn your video on.
Yes, sir. This is Ibarra Guerrero. Yes, I'm really excited for this because I used to be one of those guys that girls would take advantage of when he would go to the strip club in my early 20s and all that.
Damn it.
So I've been that guy, and I'm glad I've been that guy because you know, you got to go through the dumb shit before you realize what you've been doing is not very intelligent. And I've been with AZD's one time or twice, I can't remember how many times, to a strip club, and it was mind-blowing. But now, with my awareness so much higher and better, I know I'm gonna fucking change him even more, and I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited, man. Can't wait for that shit.
Man, it's going to be good to see you guys. It's going to be a lot of change, deep change weekend. Let's make time to go to Crepes Bistro and El Pollo Loco. Let's do the food rounds, you know? Let's make sure we grab a bite. Jamba Juice and what is it? Is it Roadhouse? I don't know. It's the place right down in Santana Row that makes the best burgers. We should go there. Maybe even ride our bicycles there. We should make sure that we have fresh tires on this thing. So that's exciting. Shamir Khan, what's up? From Roswell, New Mexico, base 2. Shamir.
What up, brother?
Hey. Gonna be VIP.
Tell you what, man, am I excited. Look, the way it feels coming into this boot camp, it's incredibly similar to the way I felt before my first boot camp. Like incredibly similar, because he's having us watch Dracula Untold. I think a year ago he had us watch Split. Like having these movies as a reference, dude. Like,
yeah,
man, I can feel the shift taking place, and I don't have a lot of words for it, but there's I'm hella excited. That's all I can really say.
People that don't know, you know, there's been some nighttime lectures going on, and I give you all the notes for that and the recordings. When you join the Telegram group, you sign up for Code Dracula, and you join the Telegram group. And in this, he does some voice analysis for the first 2 or 3 lectures. The middle lectures are nice. I mean, the notes will suffice. And then the last lecture he did, he gave us a bunch of movie references, one of which I did. I mean, you can have them, but you won't know what you're looking for until you read the notes and watch the lecture. Like I'm watching the newest Joker movie, and I'm seeing what he's saying. I'm seeing what he's talking about. I hadn't seen that, and I'm seeing it's a face in the character in there. And obviously it's a sad, pathetic character, but there's a face, there's qualities in there. And yeah, this is will help create the images inside so the teachings make sense. They make more sense. So if anybody would like to sign up for Code Dracula, hit me up. I think there's a few guys on here that aren't signed up for that. You can do online. We still got some spots left live. I think we're at 9 people live. So we can take up to 10 to 13. We'll see. Yeah, so Shamir, all of you, wow, all of you, has anybody been around long enough to game with AZD? I mean, I guess I haven't really gamed with him. I'm just like watched, observed. I've had plenty of opportunities to game, but when you're around, you just kind of watch and observe and be cool. I have, you know, been in hotel rooms with girls that we've picked up. By we, I mean, I said, hey, meet my friend, Arash. I talked to her for a couple minutes, and then a few minutes later, we're going up to the hotel room. And, you know, 2 Swedish girls I was talking to, and I told her, nice boots. And he jumped in and said, why'd you say that? I basically told her I was hitting on her. But I was losing the set for sure. And so later I was in the hotel room with him and those 2 Swedish girls. And there was a bunch of other guys around. The whole IMC crew was there. But, we've gotten ride home. We were at the strip club, and he picked up one of these strippers was new. One of them, he knew he was going there because he knew her. And the one he didn't know, who was with me, ended up driving us back to our hotel after they got off. It was late, like 3 a.m. or something. And I think they were making out in the back seat, and I'm just talking to this girl. I still have her number. I guess we messaged a little bit, but it was very interesting because it's very rare for a dancer to give the client a ride home after dancing. They insisted. We looked like some fucking losers standing outside. It was so cold. It was so cold that night, and we were just standing. We were like those typical guys waiting outside the club. Everybody probably, the dancers are walking out front, waiting for their rides, probably looking at us like these guys are stalkers, you know. And the bouncer didn't know, but the girl ended up swooping us up, and then it was legit, right? So a bunch of experiences. I don't know how much of that is me gaming, but I guess in some sense, I'm sure I contributed just being there. One man, two men are stronger than one. I definitely don't. I'm not a liability. So let's see. Has anybody gamed with a rock? I don't think any of you have. Fuck. None of you have been to an event in person before quarantine. Shit. Oh my God. If I died, none of you, who would even tell you about this?
I know Guerrero has been out with AZD. I don't know if he has any stories.
Oh, down in LA, did you go out somewhere with AZD to a restaurant or anything?
Yes, but my awareness and the way the way to describe it, I really suck at these things, but I have been out with him a couple of times, and it just throws you off, man, especially when you're young in the game and you see what he's doing. You're like a deer in the headlights. So I'm just there watching. He probably, and you're watching him, and he's probably like, what the fuck are you staring at? You know what I mean? But it's just it's just amazing to see, man. It's just incredible, and I've come a long way from watching him, and I know I'm still improving. Even now, I'm trying to speak not as fast as I used to. I'm trying to be more articulate. I'm just doing it, you know. I keep moving forward, but yeah, man, it's fucking awesome to watch him.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be life-changing. So I wish for everybody really to experience it. Master Pyro, you got anything to add to what we're talking about? Or I'll wrap it up with a little something about Code Dracula.
Yeah, shoot, man, I'm just looking forward to my transformation with this. You know, like I said, this new technology. It's funny that he tapped into this because I've been wanting to get more into my art of seduction. I've been kind of talking about it, just really breaking down my own thing that I've been doing since I've been learning from AZD, and this is going to be a very good, you know, attachment to everything that I've already learned. You know, so being able to decode another thing that he's given us that he's decoded, it's just going to be another amazing ride. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. It's always going to be vast evolution. Shamir, you got anything, brother? Nah, Mr. Cervantes? Nah. Well, Code Dracula, man, you know, the evolution of the alpha. Like, I definitely see who was asking me. Joan Velostegui. He's one of the apprentices, non-film apprentices, but he's also done a lot of the beast camps online, lives in Maryland, and he'll make it out live one day, but he just had like a bunch of eye surgery. So we were catching up after like 3 weeks, and he was asking me about like phase 3 of the beast, and the delineation was not clear for me. Phase 1 was definitely stoicism and calisthenics, monk life, prison planet, all that stuff. Phase 2, which by the way, there's a phase 1 camp coming up. If you've never done phase 1, officially a level 1 beast camp, which the last one was New Year's. It was the New Year's weekend, New Year's 1st, January 1st. So then that's going to be the tech of the calisthenics, of the stoicism, of the alchemy and visualization. Level 3 was surrender, experiment, transcendental meditation, and the shift from being a beast to being a predator. Go out and get your money, make your money. That was events like Tribal Council, phase 2. I think there were just 2 events on that, phase 2. And because then phase 3 came with phase 3, the distinction was because that turned so yin and kind of covert. It was how to calibrate your beast to make your money. But you were being beta. So level 3 is now go alpha, but you got your ethics in, which is what? You got your personal responsibility, level 1. You got your receptiveness and non-reactiveness, that's level 2. And now you have how to be alpha, which is the code of sex, but be an ethical alpha man, because alpha men also kill the women's children and fucking rape and like whatever. They get what they want. Maybe they don't rape. I don't know. Maybe they do. It's just, well, alpha. It's alpha. Like they dominate, right? Alpha in nature is not friendly. It's different. So, but how to be an ethical alpha, be a man, be a leader, be successful, level 3. And then, so that was last month. The May Beast camp was Alpha Camp. It was Code of the Alpha. I forget what the exact name of it, but it was something Alpha was in the name. And this is Code Dracula, which I described in my post today as the infinite alpha, the penultimate alpha, the pinnacle of alpha, Zapar level alpha, which is like the frequency of seduction, of mind control, and of being a warrior. So, which is another way I would say of saying you deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Like in the game of life and nature, the most dangerous man would have the most beautiful women. Maybe not every dangerous man does, because there's psychopathic danger, but not the most dangerous. The least dangerous men never get that. If they do, it's they never get that. So it's one of those requirements. Gets the most beautiful, gets the most women, because they can. The warrior protects the warrior seducer. That's great, but now mind control comes in, because, well, that just makes sense on Satan's planet, Satan's earth. That mind control would sound like an evil on Satan's earth until you realize everyone is already mind controlled. That's why there's problems in relationships. They're mind controlled, and they turn around and they'll shun you for saying mind control, realizing like, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid that you're not going to be able to see the mind control happening? That you think you're too dumb, you're going to get taken advantage of against your will and do things that you don't want to do? And so you're going to repel away the only person courageous enough to talk about it and teach you about it and tell you what he's actually doing? You'd rather go and interact with a bunch of people that are probably studying it, just won't tell you because that's your reaction. Those are the people to fear. But no, because she's mind controlled into just being a trigger response to words and ideas. And so are men. They've lost the polarity and the duality. So the behaviors and the mindsets that separate man from woman, what is different about them? And the differences are not all equal. They're all different themselves in their ability, or in their frequency, or in their alignment with the opposite gender. Different behaviors align with other behaviors in the opposite gender. You will get what you deserve in this game based on your behavior and your mindset and your communication, which is a behavior. And the mindset, like that's what it is. It's how you see yourself, but really how you act it out. And the syntax of your life is largely patterned early on, before you remember it. What those sounds and what those dynamics made a familiar imprint that you kept seeking out unconsciously, not conscious of it, resonating with experiences, not knowing why, but going off your feelings. They made you worship your feelings as part of the mind control. Get the being with infinite awareness to just pay attention to a couple of anti-survival thoughts and emotions that are the result of just anti-survival beliefs. Your struggle is real. Yeah.
Quick question. I noticed that the population has been brainwashed with words like demon, right? When we talk about Zapar being a demon. Now, would you say that directly correlates to the word demonstrate, meaning a demonstration of an energy in this planet?
Are you asking me if I think the word demon and demonstration or demonstrate are similar? Like they come from,
Yes.
they're related? Well, I can make a guess, but let me look up the etymology. Demonstrate. Demonstrate is from the 1500s. To point out, indicate, exhibit. From monstrare, which means to point out or show. Or from monstrum, which is a divine omen, or to wonder, related to monster. So to demonster. Demonstrate is to get rid of like the monster of not knowing. But let's see when demon is from 1200. It's much older, which makes sense because it's smaller. 1200. Let's see if there's anything earlier. 1200, an evil spirit, malignant, supernatural being, blah, 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 blah. From Latin, daemon, spirit. Greek, daemon, deity, divine power, lesser god, blah, 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 blah. One's genius. Huh? Blah, no. From the root da, to divide. Daimon, divider, provider of fortunes or destinies. Daimon. The divider, provider of fortunes or destinies. Demon. Wow, that's a dope definition. that's fucking awesome. I want to write that one down. That's from like the oldest Greek. Divider, provider. So cut it off from the infinite universe and provide it, either fortunes or destinies. You know, it's almost like the genie in the lamp. Be careful what you wish for. A genie is a jinn, which is a kind of demon. And are you okay? So then the original thing was like, is that word people are mind controlled into being controlled by that word or something?
Well, the question really is, would demonstrate just be somewhat of a demonstration of the word demon, of an energy demonstration?
Maybe. I think maybe phonetically they've become blurred. You would need a more experienced linguist, but from what I just read on etymology, demonstrate is more related to demonster, versus daimon is the way of saying the daemon of the old Latin and Greek, which became demon, which was daimon, which was the divider, provider of destinies or fortunes. Daimon. Dai was to, or day, I don't know how to say it, D-A-I, was divider, to divide, and mon, fortunes, destinies. Somehow that's what mon was. Is that related to monster, where mon comes? I could look up monster. Let me look that up. Probably. I'm sure they're related. I mean, this is, I don't know how relevant this is, but it's kind of interesting. From 14th century, monstre, malformed. Yeah, it seemed like demonstrate came from like, it was a 15th century word from like French or something. Malformed animal or human creature, blah, blah, blah. 12th century, directly from Latin monstrum, divine omen. Oh, very similar. Monstrum was part of the other one. Advised tech from the Greek root monet. To think of, to remind, suffix, causation, root form of men, to think. No, it looks like they have totally different roots of origin. Monster being more something mental, like a mental remembrance of a warning. And then mon was more related to like destinies or fortunes. So phonetically similar. It's interesting. You could word play with it. You know, the difference between etymology and word play is you're playing with words. So yes, demon is in demonstrate, but it looks like from minimal amateur research that they're not related in their etymology. but have become blended maybe because of English phonetics and how it's done. I don't know if they sounded the same in their origins. So there's that. And then demon, yeah, it has all kinds of negative connotations. It's part of that unknownness. It's very interesting to demonstrate actually is related to cut away the monster of the idea. To demonstrate is to make what's unknown known. So a demonstration of demon, I've heard Arash say, is just demonized deities, demonized gods, demonized angels. When you demonize something, it became a demon. It doesn't mean it was bad. Some of them are bad, and some of them are just demonized beings that are labeled as a demon. Also related, I would hear Frank White talk about working with the dark side of things, the shadowy aspect of things, working with negative energies, and meaning that they are energies or entities that live in a frequency bandwidth, you could say, that have selfish interests and are working on exchange, but in defiance of the status quo, which would an angel would enforce the status quo. The angel is a warrior for God, which made things as they are. The demon, like any demon, is looking to one up each other and get advance in themselves in their experience. And so you can look to gain advantage through working with a demon. Working with an angel, you can look to not surpass the position of that angel, you could say, like surrender to God's will kind of thing, which is nice. It's very female. I like females being angels. Surrender to me. And the demon energy is, it's antagonistic, which an alpha male is. It is adversarial. So it's almost like there to be the adversary of what you are. You are displeasing to me. And when you look around at the earth, what would be a demon on this earth, actually, in some cases would be super horrendous, and in some cases might be demonized ways of being that are really helpful, actually. Like the toxic masculinity. They've demonized certain ways of being. That doesn't mean they're demonic. They just make them evil to, with words, suppress it in you. So this Dracula code, or code Dracula, related to that adversarial energy, which you would need to separate yourself and separate any women that would follow you in your life from the herd. You don't want one of the herd following you very far into the secrets of your life, because that's just ripe for betrayal. You must lead her away from the flock and make her dependent on you, and that's natural. She chooses you in, so, and then the ethics of that sort of thing. You know, we're all very outspoken. We all talk a lot and share our energies and our ideas a lot, and let the world be the judge, you know. But then I'll judge them. And so show up to the conversation, because you'll see it fall apart on their side. I'm by design strong against Satan's earth. So it makes sense. I am the chaos to the chaos. I am order, because order is chaos to chaos. Right? All right, everybody, thank you for your time and attention. You guys should definitely be coming to the camp. If you're not signed up, send me that message. Subscribe and follow on any of the channels. And I'll see you every Tuesday here on Behavior Code. Os.